It's no secret that Nintendo has taken many Square Enix game projects onto their consoles over the years, some being met with outstanding success, and others...
You're stupid!
Well, at least some people like the others. Today, in light of the recent massive failure that is the Kingdom Hearts Cloud version Switch ports, I wanted to talk about the history of Tetsuya Nomura putting very important story elements into games that were on the most random of Nintendo consoles, and later on I want to touch briefly on what the future of the series has with the company, so please stay tuned for that. Additionally, this is not a review of every single game in detail I am mentioning today, as I want to do dedicated reviews for every entry in the Kingdom Hearts series.
That's nuts!
If that's something you're interested in, please stay tuned by subscribing. Now then, where do we begin? How about with the one that started this whole damn thing?
Kingdom Hearts, Chain of Memories. Rated E for everyone.
The intermediary title that was originally named Lost Memories is none other than Chain of Memories for the Game Boy Advance, released in December of 2004. Developed by an independent studio Jupiter, it was announced at the Tokyo Game Show in 2003 alongside Kingdom Hearts 2 as a direct sequel to Kingdom Hearts 1 and would take place 1 year after the aforementioned title. The goal of this game would be to explain why Sora lost most of his abilities in Kingdom Hearts 2, and at first the director of the series, Tetsuya Nomura, was hesitant to publish an entry in the series on a different console, but would later change his mind when he heard that children wanted to play Kingdom Hearts on the Game Boy. Honestly, to me this felt like it was a really cheap excuse to just put Kingdom Hearts on the console of the week, and it was the start of a very long tradition between Nintendo to put Kingdom Hearts on a mobile device that they just have lying around. But if it's for the children, it's for the children.
For the children.
For fans of the series who didn't own a Game Boy, this was pretty sad, but it was amended 4 years later on December 8th with a full remake, and I mean, hey, honestly, even though many will say that the whole thing was pointless in the end, I personally have been loving my time with it. I recently bought a copy at Retropalooza, oh man, Retropalooza, that was so long ago now, and I've been playing the hell out of it. The sprite work is really charming, the gameplay actually feels pretty smooth, and you can tell that even though it's no Kingdom Hearts 2, this was really just incredible work. It sold over 100,000 copies in 48 hours, and over 1.5 million over the course of the Game Boy's lifespan. So yeah, really great start. Honestly, one game on Nintendo consoles, and that's it. Every single game going forward was 100% on the PlayStation, right? Right?
Kingdom Hearts 358 Days over 2.
Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days. Oddly enough, it's my favorite game in the entire franchise. I mean, could you tell? I have 3 copies. Days was developed by Hokkaido Artists Network and Development, or better known as HAND, and was released on May 30th, 2009, which means soon it will be celebrating its 13th birthday, which couldn't be a more perfect number for the villain Organization 13's official breakout title. The game was revealed as per tradition at the Tokyo Game Show in 2007 behind closed doors with no photos allowed, very similar to that Kingdom Hearts 20th anniversary events that we had where Kingdom Hearts 4 was revealed not that long ago. Alongside it was revealed 2 other spin-off titles for the future of the series, which, when deciding what console to put the games on, it was decided that 2 of them would be on the Nintendo DS and the other would be on the PlayStation Portable. What the f? This was made possible because Papa Nomura over here wanted to make another game for a mobile platform that played differently from other entries in the series. And I guess Square Enix said, I'll do you one better. Why not make 3? Best Boy Roxas was chosen to be the protagonist of this game because the developers thought it would be interesting to have the player be someone other than Sora, and I guess to introduce new people to the series in a way that wouldn't completely confuse them. The story focused on telling why Roxas left the organization and how he wound up in Twilight Town as shown at the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 2, serving as an origin story for him and his 2 friends, Axel and Xion. The game's subtitle, 358 over 2 days, was never revealed during development, but many fans surmised that it came from the fact that Roxas and Xion, 2 people, shared the full course of 358 days being their own person. Because if you pay attention to the story, Roxas is asleep while Xion is awake, and Xion is asleep while Roxas is awake through different methods and through different means, but this is to show that they are still sharing the same lifeline, that being Sora. During the game's development, they tried to make the game play like Kingdom Hearts 2, but couldn't because of the lack of buttons. This is also why the signature touchscreen and stylus are not used, and though Birth by Sleep was first to begin development, 358 Over 2 was completed before it, and honestly I am so glad it did, because not only does it make for a great follow-up to Kingdom Hearts 2, it also works as a neat tie-in to Chain of Memories. The game's storyline and gameplay is mixed to positive review-wise, and to me it holds up pretty damn well. While I will always wish deep down for a full remake in the style of Kingdom Hearts 2 or any other style of Kingdom Hearts game in the future, I still can't get enough of this gem of a game and have replayed it so many times. Hand did such an incredible job on Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days that it wasn't long before, in 2011, they were brought back to make Kingdom Hearts Recoded, which was a remake of a mobile game, Kingdom Hearts Coded.
Kingdom Hearts Recoded, exclusively for your Nintendo DS systems. Rated everyone 10 and up.
The history of Kingdom Hearts Recoded goes as follows. It started out as a simple mobile game called Kingdom Hearts Coded and was released only in Japan, kind of as a precursor to the modern-day Union Cross and Dark Road. You may have seen some videos recently of the Gamer's Joint and Cage Water Block showcasing the demo. Tetsuya Nomura had an idea for a different kind of Kingdom Hearts game that would play differently than the previous entries in the series, with a playground type of feel. Nomura, you crazy son of a bitch. There was also a rumor that he was drunk when he came up with this concept. I can't find any sort of valid source for this, but I really want to believe that that's true. The story of the series was originally going to be fluid and not have any real effect on the main plotline, but the writing team quickly made sure to remedy that with the later half of the game tying into Birth by Sleep and 358 over 2 days. The game was originally released episodically on scheduled dates from November 18th, 2008 to January 28th, 2010. It was a very unique experience from what I read about online, and again, very similar to Dark Road, releasing episodically from time to time whenever they feel like just tossing an update out there. But this was a limited time event, and the hardware that ran the game was not available on most phones after the ones that I mentioned. And because of this, Kingdom Hearts Coded never officially made it to the West. That is until Hand came in and decided to make Kingdom Hearts Recoded. You see, it's Recoded. Nomura originally wanted a direct port of the game to play on the Nintendo Wii via the WiiWare Virtual Game Store, but because the Nintendo DS was more widely available as a system, he opted for that instead. I'm not sure exactly why, but just imagining playing the original version of Coded on the Wii and how even more pissed fans would have been to see Nomura put yet another entry on another random console of the week made me kind of chuckle. Good thing he opted to put in on the Nintendo DS, but it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows from there. At first, he wanted a regular port of the game put on the console, but when it didn't take up all the space on the DS game card, he asked the team to do a full 3D remake, which was, in all fairness, a tall order that the people at Hand and even the Osaka team at Square Enix deemed impossible. So they instead decided to make what is close to an entirely new game, but also not biting off more than they could chew, with simplified combat and mechanics that borrowed from Birth by Sleep. The story of the game did not change, but the gameplay for the original Coded may forever be lost to time. Except for, of course, the demo footage that I mentioned earlier. Therefore, bringing us today, giving us the full release of Kingdom Hearts Recoded as the definitive edition of the game on the Nintendo DS in January of 2011, that to this day, I have not finished. Yeah, that's right, I'm cutscenes only for this one. Maybe I'll tackle it someday when I do a proper review of the game, which I will, but I digress. Dream Drop Distance was originally being made by the same team behind Birth by Sleep, the Osaka team that I mentioned before, but was then handed off to Square Enix's first production department, which contained many of the people who worked on The World Ends With You, which is why the group opted for characters from that game series to fill in for the Final Fantasy characters that we were so used to. So no, being in Quadratum does not really mean we will see Neku and Joshua showing up saying hey or anything in Kingdom Hearts 4. That part is all purely coincidental. The system of choice this time was the Nintendo 3DS because of the very positive reactions from Nomura and the team. The console inspired Nomura to create the dive function when transferring between worlds, which he imagined would be played using the 3D effect that the console's name came from. I guess he just never really took into consideration that nobody really uses that feature, and I'm sorry I don't actually have the game here with me. The copy I had is one I actually stole from my cousin. Shout out, Cousin Luke. Hey, how you doing? And I can't find it anywhere, so I'm sorry for losing your copy, man. back to the video. A lot of the asset data used when making this game also came from Birth by Sleep, and the game also was meant to bring the return of the Heartless, but the setting of the dreamlike world along with the inspiration from Nintendo's Nintendog series, Nomura was inspired to create the Dream Eaters with the Street Pass function in mind, so that you could basically battle your Dream Eaters like Pokemon. The Mad Lat strikes again. The game was, of course, eventually ported to the PS4 as Dream Drop Distance Remastered, but in doing so, the port lost a lot of the features that made the game so unique in its ways of the 3DS, but it is still hailed as one of the stronger entries in the franchise, and the creators themselves often say it's more enjoyable in its gameplay than that of Kingdom Hearts 2. And that's the entire history of Kingdom Hearts franchise on Nintendo, up until where we are now with these god-awful cloud ports. So now you know it wasn't always this bad, and there was a time when Nintendo and Square worked their asses off to give fans an enjoyable playing experience while innovating with each new console they chose. And even though there's not a whole lot to say, Melody of Memories on the Switch was a thing, and the only true mobile Kingdom Hearts experience we've had recently. So while the future does indeed look bleak for fans of the series who don't own a PC, PS4/PS5, or even an Xbox, we can all agree that for all of his strange choices of consoles, Nomura made it so that there was always something for everybody, so that even if you could not yet experience the games that started it all, his characters and touching stories reached every console possible, bringing fans into our glorious little fandom ever since the days of the Game Boy. Thank you all very much for watching. A lot of editing and research went into making this video, so I really would appreciate it if you guys hit that subscribe button, share this video around with your friends, and of course, if you're looking for more Kingdom Hearts content, you know that your boy Key got to you with the hookup. Why did I say it like that? I don't know, I don't talk like this, but thank you all again very much for watching. I've been Key, and I'll see you all in the next video. May your heart be your guide and key. Peace.